So, lads, there's not going to be a 2026 WNBA season. There's just not going to be one. And there may not be a WNBA. This may be... Caitlin Clark may never play another game of basketball again. If you think Caitlin Clark is only going to play in the WNBA, I have only going to play... That's a lie, actually. She's going to play for Team USA. But Caitlin Clark may not play more than 5 competitive games a year for the rest of her life if she doesn't play in these other leagues. Anyone who has any sort of brand deals tied to WNBA, you're fucked. You're fucked. Because there is not going to be a season next season. And if you guys are wondering why, so basically, not a couple of days ago, the players were offered a max contract of 5 times what the current max contract was, a minimum contracts of more than the current max contract, and an average salary of $500,000 a year. For context, the NWSL, which is the women's soccer league in America, has a max salary of $300,000. The average salary was going to be more than the max salary. The max salary is going to be 3 times as much as the NWSL. It was going to be the highest paid women's sports league in the world. And you can say, and by the way, sorry, the minimum salary in the WNBA is more than all but like 5 unrivaled players are making. It's more than nearly the entire unrivaled player base are making. Is the minimum salary. So this is the highest paid. The WNBA is going to be the highest paid female basketball league in the world. And you might be saying, oh no, like what about Project B? Project B, people don't realize like NECA might be making $2 million. These other players might be making $2 million. There is going to be players in Project B making $80K. EuroLeague. Anyone who thinks there's a single player in EuroLeague making over $500,000 a year is crazy. MMSM is the highest paid player in EuroLeague. She's not making that. Everyone's like Kale McBride's making the millions. No, she's not. Diana Taurasi is the only person who's ever made $1 million in EuroLeague. There's about 3 players in China that are making $1 million. Maybe not. Maybe 1 right now. I know Liz Cambridge did. So, as a whole, the WNBA, with their new proposed salary, as a league, was going to be paying out about $100 million in player salaries, which is by so much the highest paid total of any women's sports league ever. So I said this and I'm like, look, the players, like, the league doesn't have to accept this offer. The players don't have to accept it, but I'm like, they have to be close. And I was like, if we hear anything about slap in the face or not good enough, instead of shutting the fuck up and just going and negotiating, because it has to be close, then the players just don't want it to be a league. Because there's no way. And now, apparently, the WNBPA has come out and said they don't see it as moving negotiations forward. So they have gone from, this is a slap in the face. That was their previous statement. The previous statement was, this is a slap in the face, posting shit on social media. And they got this new thing and they said, we still have the same thing. Basically, they're implying it's a slap in the face. It is a slap in the face. And everyone's saying, oh, you know, Kathy could have done more. They need to pay these players what they're worth. No offense. Caitlin Clark is worth $100 million. Angel Reese is worth $4 to $5 million. Angel Wilson's probably worth 2 to 3. Sabrina Ionescu, 2 to 3. Stewie Fee are worth over $1 million. That's it. It's Paige. There are less than 10 players in this league that are worth over $1 million. Like, you do realize if Caitlin Clark says, you know what? I love basketball, but I don't like all of this bullshit. I'm done. I'm retiring. And these players will never make, as a league, collectively, they will never make more than $500,000 a year. We are 12 months from, we're 16 months from Stewie saying the dream is to eventually make $1 million. 16 months. And they're essentially saying it's a slap to the face. Why? Because social media tells them you can do better. Are they going to want NBA money at this stage? Like, I don't actually know. Like, I don't actually know. Do they want NBA money? Because to say that this isn't, to come out and say it doesn't see it as moving negotiations forward, when they have offered you a 500% increase in revenue, and you don't even, they have no leverage. They have no leverage. They have absolutely no leverage, these players, because they don't realize that more than 50% of the shareholders will absolutely take the money that the WNBA has brought in the last year, get all of their money, take all the money gone, liquidate the fucking league, eat whatever losses there are, get what it is, and make sure they're not losing money in the future rather than signing a CBA. More than 58% of the league is owned by people that will shut the league down. That will gladly shut the league down. Like, it's now at the stage where there are people, and there are a lot, 58%'s exaggerating now. But there are people that will absolutely shut it down. Like, you can't, everyone's talking about the value of teams going up. You can't sell WNBA teams. Because of what's happening in Connecticut, the value of teams are irrelevant, because no matter what someone wants to pay, the WNBA are going to veto it. They won't let you sell teams. So it doesn't matter what the value of your team is, you're not allowed to sell it. So it's now at the stage where they're kind of fucked. They're kind of fucked, and like, this is the first, because I've said this again, the players don't have to negotiate. The players don't have to accept this. The players don't have to accept this offer. But this was the highball. This was the WNBA saying, fuck it, we're going to give you so much money that we don't feel like you can turn it down. And I'm guessing they're going to use Project B now as an argument against it, because they're paying 10x what Unrivaled are paying. Because you can't even use Unrivaled as a negotiating power. They're probably using the fucking Project B to shut down this league. And the worst thing is that the people negotiating are the ones that are going to be able to go take the bag. Do you know the people that this currently, by not having a season, really harms are your Ages, your Sabrinas, Caitlins, Angels. That get so much money from brand deals that the WNBA salary is irrelevant. It really affects them, and it really affects everybody that's not a irrelevant, no offense, high-level WNBA player. Like a culturally irrelevant. Like somebody like an Azare might get paid $1.5 million to go and play. She's going to get paid $1 million in the WNBA. She might get paid $1.5 million to go play in Saudi Arabia. Or not play in Saudi Arabia, I don't know why I said that. Playing with the tech bros and a little bit of Saudi money to go play in fucking Project B. And the thing is, like, they still lose money because they could have played in both. It's realistically your Nekas of the world. And then, unfortunately, Fee and Stewie benefit from there not being a WNBA season because they can just go and say, fuck it, we'll make Unrivaled 5v5 a summer league. They benefit because the bigger Unrivaled gets, the more money they get, and especially Fee because her husband's involved. And that's where the problem is like, it doesn't seem like the WNBA, NBPA, have any interest in negotiating. It does not seem like they have any interest in negotiating at all. It seems like they have a set list of demands and they're not budging on it. Because it seems like no matter what the thing comes back at, they're not even willing to, I'm not even going to say willing to compromise, because at the end of the day, both parties are going to have to compromise. The WNBA, NBPA have their demands. And if they're not going to budge, it's just not going to happen. Because there has to be some sort of middle ground. And by the way, I don't think they should if it turns out that there's a whole bunch of other shit going on, I'll be willing to retract my statements. But it literally sounds like, and the WNBPA, NBA have accused the WNBPA of literally not even trying to negotiate in good faith and just going to social media. They have accused them of not negotiating in good faith, and they're absolutely not. And the problem is, people are like, oh, they have leverage. No, they don't. And not only that, not one word has been said about, you know those rookies that are making 70k a year for the next 3 years. We don't care about them. They're literally in it to make as much money for themselves as possible. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong, but it literally, by the looks of things, the WNBPA don't give a flying fuck about the players in this league. Like, it actually looks like that's the case. It does. It looks like they care more about how much money they're going to make, and NECA probably pocketed 2 million and is like, fuck this league, let's shut it down. Like, who knows? I could be, look, I'm completely just spitballing. I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing. I'm just saying shit right now. I'm talking about hypotheticals that I know nothing about. But from the outside looking in, not being in this conversation, it looks like the WNBPA don't care about the players. They care about a select group of players. They care about the clique. They care about the clique of the top players. They're going to make their money. You know, part of our clique is major players and Unrivaled. Another part of our clique are major players and Athletes Unlimited. And the other part of clique are major players in Project B. We don't give a fuck about the rest of them. They can go and fight for themselves. And even if there is a league, you know, those rookies are still making 70k a year. So, look, they signed those contracts. Ah, well, fuck it. Fuck them. But anyway, yeah. That's the video. I don't think it's going to be a season, nor do I think the WNBA is going to exist. Sorry, no. I think not that I don't think it's going to be a season. I think there's a very good chance the WNBA does not exist. Which is a shitty one. Well, at least, you know, my PlayStation's here, so what is going on, guys? DBG here might end up coming back. I'll see you guys.